Hi, it's Hazel, and welcome to my channel, Hazel Anaka Design. I am on a bit of a kick here, trying to do the unpacking and, putting stuff away that occurs when you go on a little bit of a junket. So, the video prior to this one, which may not be the order in which you see it, or it gets scheduled, was the unpacking of an order, some Christmas cards, and a bit of thrifting that I did while we were visiting my son and his family in Denver. Anyway, too bad paper is so darn heavy. Before I get to the vintage books that I bought, I just wanted to show you that it's very possible to pick up a lot of things for your paper projects, for your journal making, for your art journals, collages, masterboards, whatever it is that you're doing, for no cost. This is the little pouch that the key card was in. So this can easily, well, it could be used, I guess, as it is, as a piece of ephemera. The cards, of course, can be for, smoothing out glue, things that you have glued. Or, of course, this could be decorated in some way. Could either be glued down to the page or floating. In the last video, I told you that we stayed at the Arvon. For the longest time, I was calling it the Avron, but it's Arvon, historic hotel in Great Falls. Now, the way it worked out, we ended up being there twice. So these are, got the same room each time. These are the little pouches that the key cards were in. So those could be used. Here's something about the complimentary breakfast and so on. And because, okay, they have the Celtic Cowboy pub that is attached to it. And we ate there that first night. The Irish stew was just great. So there's this voucher. These things are ephemera of the future. So, a few years from now, a person will look back and say, man, oh man, look at those beautiful key card little things that, existed way back in 2025. So there are things like that. I'll just put this stuff off to the side. These, in the tourism business, these things that you find in, those little acrylic cases holders, either in hotel lobbies or whatever, are called lure cards, L-U-R-E. So they want to lure you to the Charles Russell House and Studio. Now, of course, we didn't go there, but this could be the basis of a piece of ephemera. This reproduction of a painting of his could be used. Here's another one here. If you needed a really big QR code, there's that one. So depending on what you need. This is I guess this woman's jewelry was for sale in the Arvon Hotel Arvon, showcases, but this is kind of a cool business card. What if I needed a porcupine in the worst way? There it is. Now, here's the card from a mall in Billings, antique mall in Billings, and I'll show you that that's where I bought a couple of items. My husband has a weakness for either a really great cinnamon bun or a really great apple fritter, and or both. So he was reaching for one, and with those giant-sized hands of his, managed to knock this bag onto the floor. Well, he didn't want to put his piece of pastry in here, nor did he want the next person to use it. So I just snatched it up from the floor and actually told the clerk, you know, it fell on the floor, so I'm going to take this. So this could obviously be a signature page with a built-in window on two sides, or I could peel the brown paper part off the cellophane and have a signature page, a fairly decent sized one with this big gusset on either side. So I was, you know, crazy as it might seem, I was pleased to get this. One of the things we gave my grandson for Christmas, belated Christmas, was Lego. He's an absolute genius at putting together Lego. And this paper envelope thing was included in the big box with some of the instruction manuals. So I grabbed it. And I think they're kind of used to Nana, you know, being interested in weird stuff like that. I don't even know. Oh, I guess this was in the lobby of the Marriott that we stayed at. By the way, that's where we spent New Year's Eve. So we were a bit pooped. So people in our group went to get some takeout food. I scoped out a table in the lobby with a banquette and a table, and I rolled over a chair because we were one seat short. And that's where we did our murder mystery game. And I have to say, we're getting pretty darn good at solving those things. And it's a lot of fun. And considering, you know, what a long day it had already been, I thought we were quite brilliant. Now, this is a booklet, I suppose. Okay. Number one, we are Marriott points collectors, so I guess I could actually find some information in here. But more importantly, it's kind of a smallish brochure or booklet that could easily be turned into a small glue book. These images could be salvaged. More could be added to this to just turn it into, you know, a small scale project. So there's that. Haven't even cracked the cover on this one. Casper, Official Guide 2024. So again, a lot of images. Now, I didn't pack any glue stick or anything on this trip. I just took some slow stitching to do. But look at all the really cool, even these little guys, all the really cool images and headlines and so on that could be used as collage fodder or in a glue book or a travel journal. You know, because really, whoever is putting this together is kind of picking the best of the best to feature and lure us to these restaurants, bars, events, and attractions. Didn't realize somebody wrote on the back of that. So again, free for the taking. Didn't open this one up either. This would have been in one of those publication racks, typically at an entrance to a place, and it says complimentary. I was just intrigued by this cover because it looked like something that you or I could have created, you know, through the course of our work. So again, a lot of ads. And again, I guess I just want to remind myself and you that what we are either saving today or letting slip through our fingers today are going to be the prized possessions, you know, several years into the future. Now, we can't all be pack rats. We can't possibly save everything that comes our way at the risk of having our spaces collapse around us. But we should be cognizant that some of the things that we are searching for cherishing now are things that somebody in previous years saved and hung on to. And sometimes we're paying dearly to buy those things if we don't have, if no one in our particular sphere of influence saved them. And, you know, they came to us the free way. Art Moderne in Montana. So again, lots of images. Now, I picked up one of these. My husband picked up one of these. This was at that antique mall in Billings, because they have an ad in here. And of course, this paper is kind of newsprinty, but you can see that there are lots of cool images in here as well. Like, what if I needed pocket watches? Or, you know, here's a clock. I love clock faces. So, again, lots of opportunities for imagery. That could be the start of a masterboard. So, not one, but two of those. I should be stacking this up a little better. Okay. Oh, this is from the hotel. So this is the hotel, an old brick building. I think it was saved from demolition in 2011. Now, I'm finally able to say the name correctly because it is a short form for Robert Vaughan. R. Robert Vaughan. Now, apparently this Celtic cowboy pub was named Montana's best Irish pub. And like I said, the stew there was just awesome. I wanted a stick to the ribs, warming kind of a meal that day or that night. So we've got that. I didn't flip through this. It would be, okay, what is this exactly? The neatest little paper ever read. So this is like a Casper. Okay, so this is from Wyoming. Don't imagine there's anything particularly great in here. Probably just Happy New Year greetings and so on. This is the bigger, I guess. Oh, this is Casper, Wyoming. This is Montana. Okay, so this would be a tourism brochure, fall of 2024. Again, I have seen other people. Maybe I need a crossword grid or a picture of, or an illustration of a raccoon. Some people turn these sorts of publications into their art journal or their glue book. So that is another possibility, because a lot of the work on any particular page will have been done for you. Are my hands chapped, or what if this, I can't get rid of this string here. Jeez. Okay, I'm free. So again, I'm just repeating myself, I guess. Now these paper bags, again, two of them, were stuffed into the newspaper edition, or the January 1st edition of the Star Tribune. So, oh, January 2nd. Now this got a wee bit mangled. Oh, I have to tell you. Okay, our vehicle was packed to the limit. Because my daughter and husband do all the driving, I'll call him a son-in-law, even though they're not married. Anyway, so the son-in-law and I are in the back seat. And so we've got like a beer, not a beer, you know, one of those padded insulated bags like for beer, except we didn't have any beer. As our armrest in the middle, he's got a laptop case. I've got a bag full of, you know, a craft magazine to read and the slow stitching that I brought along. And of course, as we would buy things, we'd stuff them into nooks and crannies. Well, eventually, when we got into snowier places, with my very tired brain, I realized that every time I'm getting into the vehicle, I'm tracking in some snow. Snow then melts, and my bag, which is by my feet, became water, like wet. So when it finally dawned on me that I'd better check this bag, there was some, and again, this is a throwaway thing. However, it also wet this purchase. Now, this book was not in great condition when I bought it. I was able to get it. Oh, I should say, and this was from the Antique Mall in Billings. Never, never, never be afraid of asking for a deal, even in an antique store, especially if you're buying something of greater value and you're buying more than one item. Like if you're buying a $5 something, no one's going to give you a discount, so maybe save your breath. However, this book was more money. Now you can see that it's basically separated from its spine. It's just like two threads holding it together. So I had picked out this. Well, I'll show you that in a minute. Okay, so of course this is sitting vertically in that bag that then becomes soaked. Well, it actually must have been upside down, because when I looked at it, I thought, oh no. So all of these watermarks happened after I bought it. So I was a little sick about that. Oh, this was in the hotel room. It's basically a piece of card, also got water stain. And it's basically a card that says ideas. Again, a free, well, not so free in the case of a hotel room, but a piece of ephemera that if I weren't thinking in those terms, I would have just left behind. Anyway, let's go back. This is 1909. I haven't Googled to see exactly what Chatterbox was, but love these sorts of end papers. Love this, the kind of almost shaky inscription with Mama's love to Fred. He's 12 years old. Now, sometimes these books directed at children have a lot of masculine themes to them, like perhaps this or this. But as I was, okay, I switched bags. I left it in the car overnight, but of course, nothing was drying overnight because it was below zero. So the next morning, I made it my business to flip through each page, and you can see that there are many that would be perfectly lovely and have a feminine feel to them. Again, I don't know the story on Chatterbox, but I will look it up. Some cute dogs in this particular book. There are actually a couple of, but where are they? A couple of colored plates that are very charming. Here's one. Tinker's Jig. Oh, and the moral of the story is, now I probably got the discount because I happen to be buying from the owners, the Antique Mall. Look, isn't that cute? The Antique Mall's owner's booth. Because when you have an antique mall, this is cute too, one-man band. when you're at it, oh, and I thought these were so cute. These are Find the cattle drover, find the sheepdog, find the horse. Those hidden picture type things. Anyway, when you enter an antique mall, you know that it's sensory overload, and unless you're by yourself or with like-minded people, you can't possibly visit every booth and touch everything you want to touch. So this guy acknowledged my presence, and I said, I don't have much time. Can you tell me whose booth? Can you direct me to the booth that is most likely to have paper type ephemera? He says, well, that's right over here, and it's my booth. Thinking, well, that's a happy accident, isn't it? Now this too, I don't know that I actually saw any water stains on it, but this too was a little moist at the edge. So the condition has actually worsened on this since I've owned it. But I love this book. There was another one. It was Division 10, and I don't remember what that one was about, but I liked this one more, so I bought it. So these were my two. I had a third thing. No, I had two other things. No, I had one other thing. It was a scrapbook, and it was in terrible condition. It didn't have any like old cards or, postcards or what do you call those? Calling cards or anything in it. It was basically just clippings, and it was unpriced. Neither the owner nor his son could believe it was unpriced. But the son asks the dad, and he says, $35. I said, no way. But the son did give me, I think, what amounted to 20% off in these two. So again, better than a kick in the butt, hey? 20% off. Let me just quickly flip through this one. For the longest, I couldn't see this till I started flipping through it in the car. 1954. So not the oldest thing in the world, but immaculate condition. And I began reading it because, again, I had time on my hands. So they actually do explain why, okay, this is a real woman, why, for the purpose of illustration, they elongate the body to make the clothes hang better. So even back in 54, there was a very deliberate attempt to make us shorties, or people who do not have model-like proportions or body weights, feel inferior to these artificially created women. And they're showing the actual... See, this woman, this model, or this fashion illustration is literally one head taller than the real person. Now, would you buy the bathing suit modeled by this woman or by this woman? We've been brainwashed, indoctrinated, fooled, and shamed into coveting this image, even though there's no way on earth that any of us look like this. So not only do they make her taller, but they add the length. Okay, the neck is longer, the shoulder's broader, the arms are longer, the waist is lower, and most of the elongation takes place in the legs. So don't say I didn't tell you that. Okay, so basically how to sketch, proportions for doing a head. Here we're just light sketches, and we put a little clothing on her. Noses, lips, ears, angling. Like, I don't know, but I felt like this because, of course, I dozed off in the car, and that's how you feel how your neck feels after you've done one of those. But that's not a normal pose. You don't see people walking around like that in real life. But it does make for a more dramatic and interesting illustration in a catalog. So I found all of this fascinating. Hands, let's see what collarbones and femurs and tibias and all that stuff looks like. Hands and feet, shoes, draping, the draping of clothes on a body. And all this did was make me want to do more sketching. Look at the variation of sleeves, collars. I don't know, did I get, yeah, I think I got, oh no. I think this is as far as I got in the actual reading. Or did I get, I'm not even sure anymore. No, I didn't get to the furs for sure. So this is where I left off. But another thing that was kind of cool in this, oh, I asked the guy for this bag because, of course, this is a cute bag in itself. Now, these purchases mine obviously didn't fit in a bag this size, so that was a plain bag. But so here is, so whoever the student would have been would fill this out to send their lessons in. And there were big instructions at the beginning as to how to label your assignments so that you weren't paying extra postage and so on. But I feel like this is a textbook for me. So I'm looking forward to doing more reading and learning. Now, I've done some life drawing in my art lesson or art lesson days. You know, you'd sign up for a life drawing course and you'd end up with a nude model, male or female, and have to do some quick time gesture drawings and then contour drawings and then some real poses. So I've been down that path, but again, as we know, use it or lose it, baby. Okay, so that was from the Antique Mall. Then when we were in Colorado, in Denver, I requested, because of course I hadn't really bought anything by this point, I requested that we go to the Brass Armadillo because I thought that I remembered correctly that there was a booth there that whose owner had their books reasonably priced, which of course, as I hate to be a broken record, but again, paying U.S. prices with Canadian currency or exchanging currency to buy those things is pathetic. And I know, you know, avoiding politics and religion and all that is always good advice. But let me just say, on behalf of, I'm sure 99% of Canadian population, we're not impressed with the jokes and or the threats from your president in waiting. The U.S. I shouldn't assume that he's everybody's president. From the president waiting for the U.S. Yeah, not funny, not impressed. Canada's a sovereign country. We're not going anywhere, baby. Likewise, same sentiment from Mexico and Greenland and Panama and everyone else that he is, whatever. Okay, I was drawn to these two books. So it's book 1 and 2. Apparently that's all there are in this series. Again, because of the, you know, imagine seeing these spines on a shelf. You think, oh yeah, interested in those. So don't really know much about them. This one has separated from its cover. But you can see right off the bat that this is going to be a good one. Now, this book, maybe it's in the other one that there was an actual date, has some scribbling. The tear is maybe from something else. Some of this I can probably erase. But again, with the... Look at these illustrations. Are they not precious? And so I take it up to, oh, nice tape. I take it up to the counter, and I know that in some antique malls, they have a policy, you know, don't even bother. The prices are firm. Don't even bother asking for a discount unless it's over $100 or whatever their threshold is. But I thought to myself, big deal. I can ask. The worst they can say is no. I said, would you please phone the vendor and find out if he can do better on these 2 books because of their condition. Now, I also looked on my phone to get an idea for, so somebody colored over those, what are those, kittens? No, bunnies, eggs, whatever. To get an idea of what these things are valued at. So, the guy, I guess, was in the ballpark, but the condition was questionable. So the guy says, well, what would you like to offer? And of course, I hate that question. Oh, look, designs for book plates. Trace the outline of the one you would like best on tissue paper and transfer to heavy white paper. Your own name should be very carefully printed at the bottom. One of these pasted into every one of your books will give them an added value and dignity in your eyes and those of other people. The work should be done with pen and India ink or jet black ink. Anyway, so I cough up a number for the 2 of them. I said, and the guy wasn't answering right off the bat, and I didn't want to stand there and watch this guy, dial the phone. So I said, okay, I'm going to keep looking. You let me know what the guy says. Because basically you have to take if you're serious, you have to be prepared to walk away if you don't like the answer. Or you can also think, okay, if I can get it for less, I'd happily do so. But if I don't, I will pay the asking price. Anyway, so I walk away, eventually meet up with the guy again in the aisle somewhere. And he says, well, I did cough up a price. I said, make the case on my behalf about the condition, the coloring, the tears, the look at how cute this is. Carol, look at those chickens. Make the case about the poor condition. And an article by Hazel Carter. I think we also have to go on the assumption that I sell stuff. I know at some points I would be happy to settle for less just to have a particular thing gone. Or I know that the markup, I can afford to accept less and I would still be okay. So keep that in the back of your mind. You have absolutely nothing to lose and a lot to gain by just very confidently and graciously asking if somebody can do better. Okay, I've probably shown this repeated times, and let me show you the other one, and one more thing, and then we're out of here, baby. Okay, so I thought I saw a date. Again, something, well, obviously the other side of this has been ripped away. Oh, 1916. Now, mind you, the latest date mentioned on here is 1940. So, here's somebody's artwork. Some not very good coloring. Oh, I like these 2 because they had some sort of botanical component to them. So that's a cotton flower. You don't, or a Canadian kid wouldn't think of that. But we're not growing cotton up here. So again, you know, a combination of very simple line drawings, more detailed illustrations, photographs, stories. Here's somebody, that coloring isn't too bad, I suppose. A design to be transferred and colored. Well, they don't mean color in the book, people. People. Children of 1940, that's not what they meant. And this, I don't have, I've got my cutting board or my cutting mat covered, so I would say this is probably close to 12 inches tall. The Gleaners. Famous painting. So, okay, what are we talking about here? The Age of Innocence. Some full page. Oh, so these are reproductions of famous paintings. So they must be trying to teach the kids. Sandy, look at those sheep. A shepherd of the Pyrenees. Woman churning. Infant Samuel. See, a person in a case like this, a person would use some recycled, some vintage Scotch tape to repair that. Pictures for children to know. So this is a story, obviously, about art and art appreciation. Painting. So a little bit of art instruction. Okay, what do we hear? Oh, expressions. From repose to horror. How about back views of birds? Ears and noses. See, and the paper is lovely. Any of these would make great little adornments, and especially, you know, with these black ones, they're different. They're quite different from what we normally see. This looks like all pastel work. Really a big section on drawing in this particular book. Look at all those clock faces. That's right up my alley. Okay, here we don't, this isn't good. But, you know, there are things that can be salvaged. How about all those dominoes? The kid with the blocks. A tall ship. Teresa. Sandy. Stagecoach. Oh, look at the lovely large font. Now, would I have left these books behind if the guy wouldn't have gone for the deal? Oh, he counter-offered. He didn't go as low as I asked, but he did come down, I don't know, $6 or something in total. So again, better than nothing. I've never tried. Oh, hey. That actually worked. I just have to put some elbow grease into this. Oh, and one of the things, I mentioned it in a video that I did. Now, I don't know if it's aired or not, and I certainly don't remember which video. But I did mention that I had seen a Sarah. Oh, that abraded the paper there. Got to be more gentle. I did see Sarah, New England Junk Journals, talk about a product on one of her videos. So, of course, I put that on my Christmas list. Now, it hasn't arrived yet, but when it does, I will show it to you and we'll do some demonstrations. It is a product that can be used on cleaning book covers and cleaning paper. So, look at these birds. Anyway, oh, well, not my bird, not my flag, but it's still nice. Aren't nuthatches kind of funny? And that they go upside down. They go head first down a tree trunk. Well, that's quite lovely. Except for the little turkey that outlined it. Anyway, more tape. Quite. Oh, this is life-size too. Anyway, clearly I have my hand. Here's a cleaner eraser. Maybe that'll do better. So again, you know, maybe it's my life philosophy or maybe it's just the luck of the draw. You know, there are probably pristine copies of this book that exist somewhere in the world, you know, eBay or Etsy or somewhere. But I keep in mind what my intentions are with these books. I intend to cut or tear them up. So I don't mind putting in some effort. I don't mind cutting around some stuff if I get the books at a price that is acceptable to me. Now, in this case, some of this is not coming off easily. But maybe I choose, in this particular case, to fussy cut this guy. Then it doesn't matter that somebody tried to outline it so poorly. Probably lose something in this. Oh, no, I wouldn't. Yeah, I'd fussy cut that. So, again, if you have unlimited money and can afford to buy the very best, well, more power to you. I choose to save where I can and know that I also have much more than I'll ever use in a lifetime. So, anyway, for what it's worth, that's sort of the mindset that I have when I'm shopping. So I will stop there. I think that catches me up. Oh, the only thing I didn't show you yet, and this is no big deal. I went to a Dollar Tree. Now, I was doing some slow stitching, and I don't believe that I have any copper-colored sequins. Now, these are rather big, but, you know, it was $1.25, so I bought, and there's 6 colors per package. I bought 2 of these thinking that I might need those sequins. But really, never got to Joann, never got to Hobby Lobby. And did I miss anything? I think not. Again, I'm in a far more blessed place now than I was several years ago, and don't need it, don't need to look at it, don't need to buy it. So thank you so much for being here, and we will see you in the next one. And I think the next videos will, of course, be me getting down to work and not showing you, oh, well, I shouldn't say that. I still have 2 unboxing videos to do. Anyway, guys, thank you. Bye-bye.